the National 4-H Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony and Awards Program. Please be seated. Hello, everyone. My name is Hadley Brown, and I am a Tennessee 4-H member who is currently serving as the State Council Historian and a Sumner County 4-H Ambassador. I was just recently named the State Communication and Public Speaking Portfolio winner and have received Tennessee 4-H's All-Star, which is the highest level given to high school students. I am pleased to guide this year's event as the Mistress of Ceremonies as we induct our 2021 laureates into the National 4-H Hall of Fame. I hope you enjoyed the outstanding musical presentation from our 4-H friends as much as I did. Carly Swallow is a 5-year 4-H member from Utah that has loved every second of her membership. She has participated in her local teen council and been selected for Southern Utah Region Ambassador. As Region Ambassador, Carly has planned many retreats for her peers and participated in service projects such as creating paracord bracelets for the active duty military. Joining Carly is Abigail Bruner, a 4-H alumnus from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. Abigail has participated in dozens of projects during her 4-H career, including market and breeding goats, clothing and textiles, plant science, horse, wildlife and forestry, and shooting sports. Her favorite leadership and citizenship experience was receiving her Diamond Award by planning and conducting a service learning workshop where she taught attendees American Sign Language. Thank you, Carly and Abigail, for amazing performances. No one achieves greatness without being of service. Service is the essence of greatness and involves giving of one's talents and abilities in the service of others. No matter how small our talent or ability, we too can make a great contribution in serving others. Each of our 2021 laureates uncovered his or her talent and gave much to 4-H. They knew intently what needed to be done, loved what they were doing, and believed in what they were accomplishing. In their individual uniqueness, each laureate found ways to multiply his or her efforts. This remarkable class of professionals and volunteers has spent hours creating new 4-H programs to inspire rural, urban, and suburban youth, reaching out to underserved populations locally and abroad, and bringing communities together for expanded educational opportunities. Tonight, we celebrate each laureate's accomplishments and the impact they have in growing the 4-H program from the local level to all the way around the world. Before we meet our laureates, I would like to share with you the history of the National 4-H Hall of Fame. It began in 2002 when the National Association of Extension 4-H Agents, National 4-H Council, and 4-H Headquarters partnered to create this recognition opportunity during 4-H's centennial year. The National 4-H Hall of Fame recognizes 4-H volunteers, financial supporters, staff, and pioneers who have made major contributions within the 4-H movement at the local, state, and national levels. Each land-grant university from across the nation may nominate one candidate per year, while the founding partners of the Hall of Fame may nominate up to 3 candidates. These candidates represent 4-H in the broadest of sense. Candidates may have been a 4-H volunteer, financial supporter, extension professional, or staff employee who has significantly impacted 4-H through his or her contributions of time, energy, or financial resources. Through the past 19 years, we have honored many 4-H supporters and contributors. Tonight, we are privileged to have some of our previous National 4-H Hall of Fame honorees with us. Would all previous National 4-H Hall of Fame members please stand as we honor you and your dedication to 4-H? thank you all for joining us this evening to honor our newest laureates. We also remember those National 4-H Hall of Fame members who have passed since our last time together. Please join me for a brief moment of silence in their honor. We remain grateful for their 4-H legacy. At this time, we invite Jeanette Ray Keywood, Chair of the National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals, National 4-H Hall of Fame Committee, to share a few words with us.
Thank you, Hadley. Good evening. I am truly honored to recognize this distinguished group of laureates and welcome the family members, friends, and colleagues that are here to honor them. 4-H has influenced each of our lives in a very special way, and this group of individuals that we are recognizing today have impacted the lives of many through their involvement in the 4-H movement. On behalf of the three partners that sponsor this event, the Division of Youth and 4-H at USDA, National 4-H Council, and the National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals, the National 4-H Hall of Fame Committee congratulates each of you on this most distinguished honor. Enjoy the evening, and thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette, for serving as chair of the National 4-H Hall of Fame Committee. Please help me extend our thanks to all committee members for their dedicated work to prepare for tonight's ceremony. Let us now welcome the Extension partners to share their greetings with the 2021 laureates, families, and guests. Our first partner, representing USDA, National Institute of Food and Agriculture, is Dr. R. Brent Elrod, Acting Director of the Division of Youth and 4-H.
Thank you, and thanks for that promotion. I'm a mister among all the doctors among us. Greetings and welcome, Class of 21, family and friends. I'm Brent Elrod, Acting Division Director, Youth and 4-H, and also USDA's National Science Liaison for Youth and 4-H, a new position that's been just recently announced to bring further attention and growth to the 4-H movement nationwide. I bring greetings and congratulations from NIFA's director, Dr. Carrie Castile. Dr. Castile is a proud 4-H'er and cites the training and support she received as a Louisiana 4-H member for helping her develop clear goals and leading her down the path of service and science to the position she holds today. As most of you are certainly well aware, 4-H is the youth development program of the USDA and is implemented by the Cooperative Extension Service through U.S. land-grant universities nationwide. From the 3,500 cooperative extension professionals and over 500,000 volunteers reaching youth each year, our Hall of Fame awardees are just a select few, and you should be celebrated accordingly. As donors, administrators, specialists, faculty, and volunteers, your contributions have stood out, deserving of commemoration at this highest level for time immemorial. And as you are inducted today, we know there are countless youth, now adults, whose hearts and minds were lifted by your selfless words and deeds and are standing on your shoulders today. Congratulations.
Next, we welcome to the podium Suzanne Alt-Bortz, 2021 President of the National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals.
Hi, folks. I'm excited to be here because this is not only a celebration of so many folks that have been supportive of our National Association and AE4H YDP, but they're also our friends and our co-workers that we could not be here today to celebrate all the 4-H work without people that are so passionate and so dedicated to our mission. This year we'll be celebrating our 75th anniversary in Memphis, and we're so excited because many of you will be there. And we also know that we would not be here for our 75th without many of you sitting in this room. As I was standing at the door looking around, there's so many familiar faces that have made 4-H possible for so many thousands of kids, and I thank you all so very much. Our association is one of the sponsors, but it's really the committees and the volunteers that are within those committees for the Hall of Fame that have made this possible, and I dearly thank them for making all of you that we will be honoring today give you this special moment to celebrate. Thank you.
Our final greeting comes from Jennifer Sarangelo, President and Chief Executive Officer of the National 4-H Council. Welcome, Jennifer.
Well, good evening. It's my honor to be here tonight to help celebrate our laureates and to celebrate the impact of 4-H. As our wonderful MC just said, I'm the CEO of the National 4-H Council, and we are the 501c3 nonprofit partner to USDA and to Cooperative Extension to support the 4-H program. We were created more than 70 years ago by Extension to do just that, to create partnerships with foundations, corporations, and many alumni that are out today in the world making an impact because of you. And our job is to bring them and their energy to support our cooperative extension work in local communities. So it is my pleasure to be here. I am honored to be a part of this, and I just want to tell you just a little story if I could. One of the pleasures of my role is that I get to meet with alumni that are out in the world, that you have inspired your work, all those weekends and evenings and all that you did with looking at record books and setting up county fairs. All of that work pours into young people that become amazing contributors to society. So whether they're ambassadors, today I was at a meeting of Fortune 500 female CEOs. I spoke at the meeting, I said hello, and 4 of them came up to me and told me they were 4-H alumni. Just as an example today, yesterday or last week was 4-H week, and we were up on Capitol Hill, and over 40 members of Congress are 4-H alumni, as another example. So about 20 governors as of today. So your work creates all kinds of everyday heroes, those luminary heroes that we get to hear about, and I just want to thank you from my heart and from the Board of Directors of National 4-H Council. So congratulations.
Thank you all for sharing your inspiring words with our laureates and guests. Please join me in thanking our Extension partners for their contribution and support of this special evening. As we move forward with tonight's celebration, we will meet each of the 20 honored National 4-H Hall of Fame laureates or their representatives. Each laureate will have an opportunity to share his or her contribution to the 4-H program. Each story will add to the rich 4-H tapestry across our nation. Please join me as we learn about the many ways these laureates have impacted 4-H through their careers of service and leading by example. Growing up in South Dakota, Daryl Buholt's family participated in the Belmont Baby Beef 4-H Club. Building on his 4-H experience, Daryl went on to become his family's first college graduate. Joining Kansas State University as the Assistant Director, Agriculture and Natural Resources and Community Development, Daryl also served 18 months as the interim 4-H Youth Development Program Leader before being named K-State Research and Extension Associate Director. During his interim, with restricted funding a major concern, Daryl directed the 4-H specialists to create a new stream of non-taxpayer funding to increase operating funds for continuance of programming. A new system was created to generate operating funds for Kansas 4-H events, activities, and programs. This fund raised more than $700,000 in new dollars to sustain the department in delivering educational programming for more than 75,000 Kansas youth. Daryl's vision and wisdom led him to the position as chair of the Extension Committee on Policy. This committee identified for the extension system how the 4-H Youth Development Program could combine coordination, collaboration, and cooperation to reach the 6.5 million 4-H youth across the nation. Kansas 4-H is proud to have nominated Daryl Buchholz for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Daryl.
Thank you. And one of the advantages of being first, you will not have had any others to compare to. But it's truly an honor, and I'm humbled by it. And quite frankly, I'm not really certain why I was one to be selected. And I'll explain it in this way, because I've attended several of these in years past, and I've watched the individuals go across the stage and have their stories told, and that's one of those reasons why I said, no, that's not going to happen for me, because, wow, those individuals are really special. Well, this is very special, and it's a wonderful honor, and so I thank you for that. But the success of 4-H really came, for me, through what I would call partnerships and relationships. And in that regard, it really wasn't me that did all of those kinds of things that were described just a moment earlier. It was really the fortune that I had of mentors, colleagues, friends, my parents, my family. All of that support is really what makes this thing as special as it is. And so I'm going to call out some individuals that, to me, did the mentoring to help me to know and understand. I mean, I started out with 4-H, but quite frankly, I didn't really understand it until I came into an interim role as a state 4-H program leader in the state of Kansas. And at that point in time, I had to learn real quickly. And the quick story with that one was Kath Ann Kress. Some of you would probably know Kath Ann at Ohio State currently, but she was at that point in time the top individual in USDA for 4-H. She was the, as we referred to her, as the head clover. And quite frankly, I called Kath Ann several times, and she mentored me. And Jeff, I know what you're up to, so I'm gonna wheel on down through this, but I've got a whole list of names here, so I better not tell the story. I've got a red light, so that probably means I'm over and done with. Anyway, I'll tell the individuals when I see them just how important they were. Thank you. This was wonderful.
I think we all can tell that Mr. Buchholz has a pretty special heart, too. When he joined the Enterprise Earners 4-H Club in Jackson County, Minnesota at age 9, Stephen Cinsky probably never thought that his 4-H experiences would eventually lead him to become the Deputy Secretary with the United States Department of Agriculture. Growing up on a soybean and corn farm, his journey began with lessons learned through a variety of 4-H projects. 4-H taught him responsibility and inspired Stephen to seek a public service career. He participated in local leadership opportunities, holding offices with his club and at the county level. Stephen's sense of leadership forwarded him to serve as the Minnesota State 4-H president. After graduating from South Dakota State University, Stephen secured a position as a program assistant at the National 4-H Center. Today, Stephen reflects upon the positive impact the citizenship short course had on his future, including meeting his wife. As the Deputy Secretary, Stephen has worked diligently to support 4-H, opening doors by educating colleagues about the importance of 4-H. A champion for NIFA and National 4-H Council, Stephen worked for revolutionizing the use of the 4-H name and emblem. National 4-H Council is honored to have nominated Stephen Cinsky. Congratulations, Stephen.
Well, thank you so much, and it is my great honor, and I'm humbled for this award, and I want to also say I'm humbled to be standing among such giants of 4-H here in this room. Really is impressive, the work and the history and what everyone has done. I also want to thank you, Jennifer, Bo Riles, Jen McIver, for this nomination, for the 4-H Hall of Fame committee for this honor, because it truly is an honor. As we just heard, it was, little did I know when I joined the Enterprise Earners 4-H Club at age 9, like many of you did, your own 4-H clubs, that 4-H would be such a transformation power in my life. And I think that is the power and the promise of 4-H, that 4-H today, just like it has in the past, over the last decades, has been able to transform so many different lives. For me, it was going to citizenship short course that really opened up my eyes to the world beyond the farm in Jackson, Minnesota, that showed me and that led to some of the passions in my life. I went on, of course, to serve as 4-H president, to be a summer 4-H youth agent, to serve at the National 4-H Council as a program assistant, and then as an IFE. And it was there as an IFE, as you heard, that I really found the other passion and love of my life, and that is my wife Carmen, who is here tonight. But also we were both outbound IFEs. I was going to China, she was going to Norway. And of course that's where our romance began. It was also through 4-H that I've learned the power of public service, and that is one of the things that has propelled me throughout my career, and I'm so very thankful for serving both on Capitol Hill, working as administrator of the Foreign Agricultural Service of USDA, CEO of the American Soybean Association, and then as Deputy Secretary of Agriculture. I was so pleased to have the opportunity to work with Jennifer, with Extension leaders, to, again, solve the 4-H name and logo, as well as to really do 4-H at home. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you all. I'm honored.
Brian Chad of Arizona would call himself a 4-H lifer, as he was 10 years old as a 4-H member in Indiana and retired following a 35-year career as a 4-H agent in Kentucky and Arizona. Throughout his 4-H career, citizenship was not just a catchphrase, but rather a principal concept. Community service, generosity, and responsibility were taught and practiced throughout his 4-H programs. Brian was insistent that every camp and multiple-day workshop that he led had a community service component and at the end, there would be a debrief about the experience and the importance of that activity in the community service. Brian's 4-H philosophies and ideas were included when he worked with youth in Europe, Japan, and Korea. One program highlighting Brian's leadership and creativity was The Journey, Opportunities for Leaders of Tomorrow, an award-winning leadership camp. During its 24 years, more than 2,500 youth received training and experience in leadership, citizenship, communications, and team building. A volunteer first, Brian is eager to assist someone in need, contribute time or money for a worthy cause, and he is a compassionate friend. Arizona 4-H is proud to have nominated Brian Chad for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Brian.
Jeff, I'm going to hurry. I got a lot to say. What is my purpose in life? I asked the void. What if I told you that you fulfilled it when you took an extra hour to talk to that kid about his life, said the voice. Or when you paid for the young couple in the restaurant, or when you saved that dog in traffic, or when you tied your father's shoes for him. Your problem is that you equate your purpose with goal-based achievements. The universe isn't interested in your achievements, just your heart. When you choose that to act out of kindness, compassion, and love, you are already aligned with your true purpose. No need to look further. I'm honored to be a part of this class of laureates that are so outstanding. Part of the reason we're here is based on our achievements, but I believe that one of the reasons we were able to achieve those things is for that second H, the heart. I'm grateful for being raised in a 4-H family and a community and a county that had a strong program, taught us how to make decisions, how to make friends, and how to make memories that we can remember back when we see all of our friends here, like here tonight. I'm blessed for the opportunity to pursue my purpose and my passions, and I think part of that was due to my mentors, Burl and Daryl and Susan. I thank you very much for that, and that they encouraged me to live with my heart. For the many amazing 4-H members, parents, leaders, staff, and coworkers, and all my friends and colleagues in NAE, 4-HA, YDP, and lifelong 4-H friends, I share this honor with you, for sometimes I led, sometimes I followed, and always we walked together in this journey as we strive to challenge, encourage, and inspire. To Dan, Jeanette, and the Hall of Fame Task Force, thank you for your vision and your hard work with this. I served with you, and I'm grateful for that. For Kurt and the U of A and the Arizona 4-H who submitted my nomination, I'm eternally grateful. Finally, my close Arizona 4-H colleagues, and Rick, you mean more to me than I'll ever be able to express. Gonna do it. Because of your pursuit of excellence, love, kindness, hearts and compassion, and your belief in me and our 4-H missions, I'm so very proud to have been one of you and for what we accomplished. I am blessed, and for everyone on my 4-H journey, as Carol Burnett would say, I'm so glad we had this time together. Thank you.
Growing up on a farm did not allow much time for vacations or traveling beyond Hunterdon County, New Jersey. But after joining 4-H at age 9, the doors opened for Luisa Bauercole. 4-H provided her opportunities to travel and meet new people. Joining the Hunterdon County 4-H Sheep Club, Luisa connected with the South Reddington 4-H Garden Club, 3B's Village Girls Cooking Club, and as a teen, the Hunterdon County 4-H Junior Leaders Association. In 1960, Luisa was selected as a delegate to the National 4-H Conference in Washington, D.C. During the conference, she met members from all 50 states while learning facts about the government. At the age of 21, Luisa transitioned as an adult volunteer. She led the Hunterdon County Sheep Club and Junior Leaders Association, positions that she continued for 60 years. As her children joined 4-H, Luisa provided leadership for the Country Cooks 4-H Cooking, Arts and Crafts, and Horticulture Club, as well as the Hunterdon Hoppers 4-H Rabbit Club. Today, Luisa is guiding the third generation of 4-H members. New Jersey 4-H is proud to have nominated Luisa Bauercole for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Luisa cannot attend, but she sent a note that I'll share with you. I am sincerely honored to be chosen as a 2021 4-H National Hall of Fame laureate. I wish that I could be there tonight to accept my award and meet the other laureates, but unfortunately, some health issues have made that impossible. My 70 years in the 4-H program, first as a member, then as a volunteer leader, have been so rewarding and memorable. Some of my greatest joy has been watching the accomplishments of 3 generations of members as they have grown and matured in the program. 4-H has given me the opportunity to touch so many lives and form lifelong friendships. 4-H is truly a program for all children where they can succeed and excel. I feel extremely lucky to have been given the gift to be a part of such an amazing program. Again, thank you for this honor and congratulations to all of the 2021 laureates. Sir Isaac Newton once said, "If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." John Dooley of Virginia believes his 4-H story is about giants who lifted him upon their shoulders to allow him to see further and to dream of possibilities he could never have imagined. Quick to acknowledge the list of giants includes the thousands of youth members. John would also include the extension professionals with whom he worked and the many dedicated volunteers who are the backbone of the 4-H program. As an active member in the Busy Bees 4-H Club in West Virginia, John's primary focus was camping. John's love of camping led him to be the Northern Virginia 4-H Educational Center Director, which was the new year-round campground and conference center developed by Virginia Cooperative Extension. During his 9 years as director, John saw growth in the facilities built and innovative 4-H programs launched, including programs for children. John's leadership was also recognized through his service as the executive director of the Virginia 4-H Foundation and associate director of the Virginia Cooperative Extension. Virginia 4-H is excited to have nominated John Dooley for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, John.
Thank you so much. What a great honor this is. I want to congratulate, my fellow laureates. You indeed are giants, and I am humbled to be a part of your group. I want to thank Jeanette, you and the selection committee. I do want to bring to the selection committee, though, just a fact here. 19 out of 20 isn't a bad record, okay? You messed up with me, okay? I'm not deserving of this honor, but you still get good grades for 19 of 20, correct. I also want to express gratitude, to my colleagues from Virginia Tech, Virginia Cooperative Extension, for sponsoring me. This is indeed, as I said, a great honor. As Hadley read, Sir Isaac Newton made the statement, "If I can see further than others, it's because I have been able to stand on the shoulders of giants." And indeed, that is the description for me. I have been blessed over my years, 55 years, with 4-H, to stand on the shoulders of many giants. And many of them are here today. And I want to acknowledge each of you for your contribution to my work and to my development. First and foremost, my wife Lisa, who has stood behind me. Lisa grew up in Harrison County, West Virginia, started out in 4-H, and she said, "It wasn't for me," Well, guess what? She married into 4-H, and it ended up being for her, Whether she liked it or not, But there are giants all around us, The 4-H agents, the 4-H staff, the 4-H leaders. I want to acknowledge one in particular here, my friend Bernice Pearson, who flew up from Florida to be here just for this event this evening. When I first came to Virginia, Bernice was a giant. I see the yellow, okay? And she was a great mentor. Thank you, everybody. Everyone in this room, you're a giant. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Karen L. Hinton, former Dean and Director of the University of Nevada Cooperative Extension, is known for her wise, thoughtful, and deliberate leadership style that motivated others to action. Most of Nevada's 4-H events and opportunities are a result of Karen's leadership, including Nevada 4-H Capital Days, established under Karen's leadership 30 years ago. This event was designed for 4-H members to meet elected officials during the legislative session, as Karen believed civic engagement was essential. She persuaded youth, volunteers, and professionals to interact with local-level decision-makers about 4-H. She thought providing youth opportunities to speak to local decision-makers could demonstrate the positive influence of 4-H and persuade decisions. Karen encouraged collaboration among extension professionals to reach diverse and underserved youth. Her leadership approaches were known nationwide, as Karen was appointed co-chair of the National 4-H Task Force formed by the Extension Committee on Extension, Organization, and Policy for increasing the visibility of 4-H with federal legislators. Retiring in 2012, Karen earned the distinction of the University of Nevada's longest-serving female dean and director. Nevada 4-H is proud to have nominated Karen L. Hinton for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Karen.
Well, it is truly an honor to be here receiving this recognition tonight. And like others have said, it is humbling, especially as we hear more and more about these outstanding individuals that we're now a part of. I want to thank the University of Nevada 4-H Youth Development Program for the nomination. Sarah and Carrie are here, and you should know that they gathered the information covertly. So it was a total surprise when I received the letter about this. And thank you also to the sponsors for continuing this program. There are a couple of reasons that I've always felt 4-H is so important. And the first one is that 4-H teaches how to think, not what to think. Those skills that are so important, not just to complete a project, to provide youth with the tools that help navigate life. Youth learn responsibility, analysis, decision-making, so many skills that serve them throughout their lifetime. And I was a 9-year-old 4-H'er myself, and I can tell you that absolutely those skills served me throughout my extension career. Secondly, I've always believed that 4-H is a very big tent. Under that tent, there's space for both rural and urban communities, for youth from diverse backgrounds, with diverse interests. I think creativity and flexibility continue to be the tools that have kept 4-H relevant all of these years and will keep it relevant in the future. Throughout my career, I had an opportunity to work at the county level, the dean's office, and with national committees as well. There's so many positive memories that I have of 4-H, but the one thing that stands in my mind is how grateful I am for having the opportunity to work with so many totally outstanding volunteers and 4-H professionals. Again, thank you for this recognition. I want to also thank my family, friends, and colleagues for being here and coming from very far distances to be here tonight for this very special occasion. Thank you.
Growing up on a modest family farm during the Depression, Nancy Kissel of Wisconsin never imagined her life would revolve around 4-H. She joined a neighborhood club at the age of 11 and began her projects with her pet calf, Betsy. As Nancy accepted leadership roles and participated in county and state activities, her confidence grew. When Nancy's sons were 4-H eligible, she organized a robust 4-H community club, serving as its 4-H leader for 35 years. Nancy's volunteer roles include county, state, and national levels. She credits her 1970s part-time position as an urban expansion 4-H staff assistant for developing her abilities for organizing 4-H clubs targeted for underserved urban and minority populations. Nancy believes her real joy has come from developing friendships and advocating for youth to develop leadership skills and succeed at something they did not think they could accomplish, such as the joy of the Latino youngsters who not only touched their first horse, but also hugged a newborn foal. Nancy's contributions are impressive, from longevity to quality and depth to creating and sustaining educational programs. Wisconsin 4-H is honored to have nominated Nancy Kissel for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Nancy.
Over 75 years ago, I was sitting in my rural Wisconsin one-room schoolhouse with 13 other students. A newly hired 4-H agent walked in and told us about 4-H, told us he was starting a new 4-H club in our area. I was thrilled to enroll. Betsy, my pet calf, was my first 4-H project. Fast forward through a variety of projects, improved animals, showing skills, many youth leadership opportunities, and fun times, making new friends in county fair, state fair, and countywide meetings. Later, I started a 4-H club when our 3 sons became 4-H in satisfying but challenging task when our membership rose to 76 members. I felt that they were enrolled in every project 4-H had to offer. But this gave our youth awesome opportunities to develop their leadership skills in judging the younger members. As a part-time staff assistant in our county, I was asked to create programs for minorities. What an unbelievable joy, making friends with these mostly inner-city youth as they petted their first horse or planted their first seeds ever into the ground. I was blessed to have some of my ideas accepted on the national level, and that led to my meeting many extension personnel and industry leaders throughout the country. I felt humbled to often be the only lay person on these national boards and committees. A small part of me still felt like the little shy grade schooler farm girl and wondered why I had been blessed with those awesome opportunities. I am tremendously humbled for this honor that I'm receiving, and especially after meeting you other laureates last evening. In closing, I want to thank my family and friends who are attending, including 2 former 4-Hers from my county who now live out of state. Thank you, Danielle and Cheryl. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee and especially my nominator, Donna Menard, who you never stopped believing in me. Thank you.
If 4-H ever needed an action hero, Mike Clump of Arkansas would be the #1 choice. Known as the go-to guy, anytime a project needs a little extra energy to get it going or done, the answer is call Mike. a 34-year career in Oklahoma and Arkansas, Mike excelled in developing innovative youth programs such as Camp Wanna Run Around, a youth obesity program, LIFE, or Leadership Initiatives for Everyone, 4-H Excel Challenge Ropes Course Program, Arkansas Youth Agricultural Awareness Program, and Master Backpacker Outdoor Skills Curriculum. Mike has also facilitated over 130 corporate government leadership training programs founded on the Youth Leadership Challenge programs. He served on the national curriculum teams for ATV safety and the CCS Outdoor Adventure and the Army Youth Camping Handbook. Since his retirement, Mike assists with the management of the National ATV Safety Institute with National 4-H Council, where he administered ATV safety grants for 22 states. Additionally, Mike supervised the ATV Ride Safe Oklahoma Coalition and has conducted ATV Safety Institute certification trainings for more than 600,000 youth and adults. Currently, Mike is serving as the NAE 4-H YDP's 75th anniversary co-chair. Arkansas is honored to have nominated Mike Clump for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Mike, and here to speak on behalf is a representative.
Well, obviously, I'm not Mike, but I have known and worked with Mike for many years. Mike sent a few remarks, and I'd like to read them, but I'd also like to tell you that one thing that Mike Clump would never say about himself, and that he is just the most professional youth professional I ever had the honor to work with. I always said that Mike Clump made me want to do a better job in my work. And he has never faltered in his devotion to 4-H, to the association, and his commitment to living the head, heart, hands, and health. Mike worked as a professional for 34 years. He worked 9 years in the county and the rest of the time at the state level in 2 states, Oklahoma and Arkansas is so proud to claim him. Mike Clump was our first educational program director at the 4-H CA Vines, our 4-H center, and he would never say this, but I will. Mike created our educational programs at the 4-H center. They are Mike Clump's creation and even live on and improve and are getting better and better, but all because of the foundation that he left for us. His greatest joy in working with 4-H, Mike said in his letter, was working with the people and the professionals he worked with. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mike Clump influenced so many young people, hundreds. You heard the numbers in ATV safety. I'll have to tell you a funny story. I was state 4-H leader when Mike started ATV safety in Arkansas. And we had a training, and he had these new ATVs in this conference center. And it was the night before, and we were lounging around, and I just got up on one, and he said, darling, get down, you don't have a helmet on. Okay, so Mike taught me, and I would never get on an ATV vehicle anymore without a helmet on. But Mike was always a professional. He always believed in 4-H and young people, and there are so many young people, and I see Jeff getting up, that owe Mike a debt of gratitude. So Mike, when you watch this video, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. He truly deserves this honor, and he would say he didn't, but he does. Martha Ray, he would want to thank you and the state of Arkansas for his nomination and the committee. So here's to you, Mike. Thank you.
Julie Best Landry of North Carolina was a visionary who developed a robust county program which accentuated non-traditional delivery modes and curriculum experiences ranging from the arts to public policy advocacy, outdoor adventure programming, juvenile delinquency prevention, leadership, STEM, and civic leadership, as well as agriculture and consumer sciences. An early pioneer in recognizing that the dramatic increase in dual worker households was having a negative impact on traditional volunteer roles in community club delivery modules. She created new modules of delivery for modern lifestyles. Her methods were so well received that her small local county provided supplemental funding for paraprofessionals, supported her efforts to leverage contracts and grants for youth and family issues, and to serve on regional and state committees and task force to promote creative programming. She was the very first agent in the state to design, fund, and develop after-school programs for latchkey youth, a result of economic and social factors related to dual employment in a diverse economy. Another notable achievement was Julie's leadership of a state-county effort to create one of the first 4-H performing arts troupes. North Carolina is honored to have nominated Julie Best Landry for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congrats, Julie.
Well, hello. How is everyone tonight? Good. I guess. It's an honor to be here. I was very surprised when I got my letter. I thought it was a hoax. We get so many nowadays. But then my good friend Ed Emery, who is also here tonight, called to congratulate me. And I was really surprised, but very honored. I want to give a special thank you to North Carolina State University's Sharon McCullen and Mike Davis, who is retired, for their input into my nomination, and again to Ed. I want to thank my family for traveling to be with me today. We've had a great time. I hope y'all have. I've been called many things in my career. The guiding hand, that was interesting. The intimidator. The boss. My hero, my mentor. A pioneer, a BSer. A money grabber, and a star. I've been called many more, but we won't mention those now. But in my nomination, I was referred to as someone who gave life to mission. Giving life to mission is a tall order. And if indeed that is what I did, and I hope it was, I didn't do it alone. My wonderful creative staff, my steadfast coworkers, and my loving and tolerant family, they gave my mission life. Thank you.
Jeffrey Orndorff of West Virginia provided transformational leadership for county, state, and multi-state camping, educational events, international, and military programs. However, as a 9-year-old 4-H member, Jeff remembers putting off finishing an exhibit before the fair. The shellac was not yet dry, so when he picked up the shelf, the imprints of his hands were quite evident. Years later, as Jeff began his first 4-H position, he was picking up 4-H exhibits, and a member handed Jeff a white painted shelf where Jeff packed it carefully into the trunk's car. When Jeff opened the trunk, there was white paint on the carpet, and Jeff's handprints were on the shelf's ends. Amazingly, the 4-H member still earned a blue ribbon. In 1987, Jeff became an extension specialist planning events such as state 4-H camps, weekend camps, volunteer training, 4-H Congress, and initiating 4-H exchange experiences with other countries. At one camp, Jeff earned the nickname Big O, as there were several Jeffs participating. Jeff says he is grateful for the lifelong friendships and opportunities 4-H has provided him. West Virginia is proud to have nominated Jeff Orndorff for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Jeff.
I thought I was going to give this over to my good assistant, my daughter, one of my daughters. She's going to tell you all about it.
Okay.
I'm one of the daughters. I'm the youngest daughter, Meredith. First, I want to thank everyone who is here tonight to support me along with my fellow nominees. When I was 10 and a younger 4-H'er, I waited until the night before the exhibit to shellac my birdhouse for the woodworking project. 2 nice handprints were forever imprinted on the birdhouse. Skip ahead 15 years, and I'm on the job in McDowell County as a 4-H agent. It was project exhibit time, and I was driving around the county picking up projects from 4-H'ers. This little guy brings up his freshly painted white shelf and puts it in the trunk of my car. The roads of McDowell County were typically curvy, bumpy roads of West Virginia. I had a new Thunderbird, my first ever brand new car. When I opened the trunk, speckles and spots of white paint dotted the carpet of the trunk. I wasn't mad, I just started laughing. I think it was a sign I had made the right choice to become a 4-H agent. By the way, that youngster received a blue ribbon. 4-H has been my life's work and my dream job. I will always be grateful for the mentors of my life, including Rita Marks, Glenn Snyder, Oscar Hutchinson, and Rachel Tompkins, who believed in me and encouraged me to reach higher. I also have a supportive network of family and friends who jumped into action whenever I asked for help. I'm so happy to have my brother Mitch, my sister Mary Ray here tonight, who have been there for my entire life. I'm a very lucky man to have all of my 4 children here, Sarah, Jessica, Joel, and Meredith, and to have been able to watch them grow through the ranks of 4-H. 2 of my 3 granddaughters, Caroline and Ellie, are here, but baby Alma is home taking a snooze. Also, there's been someone by my side for the last 47 years cheering me on, my wife, Kathy, and I met working county camps together, and we've been a team ever since. I want to say a special thank you to Nancy Valentine, Rita Marks, Brenda Pruitt, Debbie McDonald, Martha Garton, Alex Kaufman, and Brent Clark, who worked on my nomination. Life has thrown me a curveball the last 5 years, but with everyone's help and encouragement, I'm here tonight. I can't begin to put into words what this means to me, but it's overwhelming to be inducted into the National 4-H Hall of Fame. I loved my work with 4-H and 4-H'ers who have blossomed into friends and families as the year went on. Each one of you has a special place in my heart, and as we leave tonight, let us all remember the motto, to make the best better.
Clemente Carlos Pickney from South Carolina began his 4-H career at age 9 with his primary project of public speaking. As a teen, he was honored as the state winner. Clemente ambitiously participated in citizenship activities which led to his future career path. In 1996, Pickney became the youngest African-American man elected to the South Carolina General Assembly in the House at the age of 23. He was elected to the Senate in 2000, where he would serve until his death. During the 4-H legislative day, Clemente would always be asked to share with the 4-H'ers, as Clemente attributed his leadership and public speaking skills to 4-H. On June 17, 2015, Clemente was murdered in a racially motivated mass shooting at an evening Bible study at his church. Upon his death, the 4-H Pickney Leadership Program was founded by the state legislators, designed for middle and high school students interested in developing leadership and civic engagement. Annually, Clementa's former legislative colleagues contribute $430,000 to the South Carolina 4-H to maintain the program. South Carolina 4-H is proud to have nominated Dr. Reverend Clementa Carlos Pickney for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Receiving the honor tonight is Clementa's daughters, Milana and Eliana Pickney.
Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to everyone for the nomination on behalf of my father. I am determined to not get a yellow card today, so I will keep it very brief. As a young leader and a member of 4-H, it is incredible to know that somebody from South Carolina is being honored with this award. But as the daughter of Clemente Pickney, it is incredible to know that my father not only had an impact on my life and the rest of my family's lives, but that his impact and his legacy transcended beyond South Carolina and across the nation, and now it's reaching all of you. With that being said, even though my father is no longer able to be here with us physically, there have been several people across South Carolina who have been determined to make sure that his legacy stays alive. I want to give a special thank you to Dr. Pam Ardern for not only helping guide my father while he was a young 4-H'er, but also helping me and my sister continue our work as 4-H'ers and making sure that my father's legacy never dies. I also want to give a special thank you to Rashonda Olden for helping start and continue the Pickney Leadership Program in South Carolina. Both of them and the rest of South Carolina 4-H is working tirelessly every day for the last 6 years to make sure that my father's legacy never dies and that it continues on with other younger 4-H'ers. So again, I am so thankful to both of you and to the rest of my family. And to all of 4-H, I'm thankful for my father for leaving an amazing legacy for my sister and I to live by. And I hope that any of you who knew my father continue to allow his legacy to impact the way that you live your life. Thank you again to this incredible organization. I know that my father is smiling down on all of you and is so incredibly thankful for this amazing opportunity and honor. Thank you so much.
On her 10th birthday, Catherine Rickard was asked by her mother what gift she wanted. Kathy's response, a 4-H club. Well, Kathy received her 4-H present, and her journey began as a 4-H member to Extension professional. As Kathy would say, mix equal parts of the 4-H pledge and motto with double the dose of trust in God, and what some people call a job was a fabulous playground. As a 4-H'er, demonstrations, talent shows, and one-act plays paved the way for the 4-H agent career of workshops, leadership, and youth development. Dedicating 30 years as an extension professional in Colorado and New Mexico, Kathy broke the mold in Colorado, becoming the first full-time female director in Elbert County, where she also served as in youth development, home economics, and interim agricultural positions during her 23-year tenure. Kathy then transferred to the Bernalillo County, New Mexico, where she supervised the 4-H program for 7 years with the New Mexico State University Extension Services. Additionally, Kathy dedicated her leadership and talents to the National Association of Extension 4-H Agents, serving twice as regional director and as secretary and editor of the News and Views publication. The National Association of Extension Youth Development Professionals is honored to have nominated Catherine Rickard for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Kathy.
First, I'd like to say, I hope his legacy goes on forever. I always said that my 4-H career was God-given, a place to share the talents that he gave me. I never went to work. It wasn't a job. I just got up each day and went out to play. I earned my doctorate in multitasking. I think many of you understand that. I traveled many, many long, dusty roads and snowy roads, and I found the 4-H meetings without a cell phone and GPS. And today, I long for those very, very rural, quiet, moonlit roads, the solitude and the peace that comes with them, something that sometimes we're missing. And tonight, I humbly accept this award, and I'm thrilled to be at a place where they honor the deaf people and teach many people who want to share with them the 4-H as well. I didn't do this alone. There are many people, my coworkers, friends, family, 4-H leaders, and 4-H members. All of them were there and supported me. I'd like to thank tonight some special people. My husband, Curtis, my daughter, Kim, my son, Russell. They're all here and representing. My youngest son is my grandson, Jack, and then also my granddaughter. Brittany is here as well. She is such a blessing. I'm only in this spotlight because they gave me the opportunity to achieve. They were the ones that gave up the time. They gave up the fact that they never had homemade Oreo cookies. And so I want to thank you tonight, and thank everyone, and all of the people that are here. You're wonderful.
Dr. Robert M. Ritchie of Indiana says he learned life skills through 4-H, but never earned a blue ribbon for his project work. He enjoyed being in the Junior Leaders Club and the leadership opportunities that led him to a 33-year career with Purdue University Extension and continues to serve as a volunteer. Through his 4-H work, Bob impacted the lives of thousands of young people and their families. Bob began his extension career in Grant County as a 4-H youth coordinator. He then joined the state 4-H staff at Purdue University with responsibilities for the horticulture and field crop programs, where he worked to organize and improve management of the Indiana 4-H and FFA career development events. When 4-H Congress changed the emphasis of competitive scholarships, Bob approached Indiana 4-H supporters with the idea of establishing a similar program statewide so youth would still have the opportunity to compete and receive scholarships. His idea of a one-day event continues today with nearly 30 categories for youth to compete and receive scholarships. Bob and his wife continue to financially support the reformatted Congress. Indiana 4-H is honored to have nominated Robert Ritchie for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Bob.
Several weeks ago, I got this letter in the mail, and in the corner it said it was from Jeanette Keywood. Who's Jeanette Keywood? I don't know Jeanette Keywood. But with the 4-H there, I thought, well, I'll get nosy and I'll open it up. And I saw 4-H Hall of Fame. Well, that's good. I'm glad that's going, but probably there's a paragraph in here somewhere that says we want money to keep this going. So I started reading down through the letter to see if I could find that paragraph to see how much they were wanting, and there was the list of winners. So, well, maybe I know somebody. And I went through the list, and then I back up. Little Bobby Ritchie's name is right there. Now there's a mistake, as many of you have already attested to. It was so embarrassing because right away I started thinking of all the people who built the foundation of the 4-H program in Indiana. And I'm standing on that, hoping to make it bigger and better, but because of them, that's where I started. How in the world can I be one of those who's going to receive this honor? And then I look farther down the list and I see another Indiana person named Darrell Thomas. Well, go back 55 years, Darrell and I started together as 4-H professionals, and people thought we were brothers. Who would do that to one mother, just Darrell and Bob? Brother Bob and Brother Darrell it became, and I'm sad to say that our other brother Darrell could not be here tonight. There are so many people to thank, as you all say, and I want to thank the state 4-H leader Casey Mull for nominating me that I could be here. Especially thank you to Roger Scheer, a trusted colleague who wrote up the nomination form and made it look like I could walk on water. I tried it, I sank. Thank you to those who gave editorial support to Roger, Nancy Schumann, Mary Schumann, and Tony Carroll. But a big thank you to the families that we all have been saying. I didn't get a blue ribbon, but I got a grand champion because I met my wife, Cecilia, in the 4-H program. She's here tonight along with I got it, Jeffrey. Our children, Todd, Brad, Dawn, and Mark. Grandson Ryan is here representing our 9 grandchildren, but it's most honorable to be entering into this Hall of Fame in tandem with my brother, Darrell Thomas.
Pennsylvania 4-H is proud to nominate Dr. Jan Scholl, retired 4-H family and consumer science curriculum specialist, for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Jan was a 4-H member and junior leader in her youth, then became a 4-H FCS curriculum specialist in Wyoming and Pennsylvania. Jan has been tireless in her efforts to document the research of the 4-H program. She has spent 20 years creating and updating an online database of all known graduate and professional studies. 8,000 4-H studies from 1912 to now have been accessed by more than 12,000 researchers, legislators, administrators, and extension educators for their program planning efforts. The project has led to several grants, 2 published books, a dozen popular and refereed journal articles, and many national awards, including USDA, National Library Association, and the National Evaluation Association's Mary Nell Greenwood Honor. In 2013, the 4-H research database was declared the only one of its kind. Research documentation was not her only contribution to 4-H. Penn State University published more than 50 of Jan's state 4-H projects. Former state 4-H leader Christy Bartley says, Jan has been a strong advocate to support the history of 4-H and cooperative extension. Congratulations, Jan.
Set this here. Get everything situated and get my cheat sheet out, okay? Okay, let's hope that all stays well. Okay, my first 4-H meeting at 10 was in Viola, Idaho, in the northern panhandle. I remember the trip to the meeting distinctly. My mother said, "Don't worry, if you don't like this, you don't have to join." Well, I said, "Mom, I don't think so." And guess what she said? "Do it anyway." I'm so glad, of course I'm glad, but my least favorite 4-H project was called Grooming Your Room and Closet. I love demonstrations, love them because, hey, when you watched a demonstration, such as a teen making a pie, you could go home and do it. It was great. But I learned that sewing zippers was not the type of thing you show a big audience. And neither was making cookies, because there are so many ingredients and so many procedures, you can hardly do it well. But ending a speech with a conclusion really makes your speech, and that was a good point to remember. I learned that as an agent, letters to the editor was a good way to promote 4-H during National 4-H Week, and collaborations often flourished when you all, as a team, wrote award applications and everyone won. At camp, somebody had gum in their hair, and guess what? We found out that it could be removed by peanut butter. And powdered milk and a little detergent removes skunk odor. That was an important learning. Record keeping wasn't fun, but it helped me prosper. You know, completing work goals first, you had time to do other things that were more interesting. I developed a portable kitchen and a fitness video with camp songs. We learned both, and gave speeches in different countries. And after the centennial, I did study extension history, creative archives in the National Ag Library, wrote biographies, and showed silent pictures for 4-H for many years. 4-H wasn't easy, but it was a source of pride that I was able to do so much. Thank you so much for all of you who helped me, especially Pennsylvania 4-H, who nominated me for this award. Thank you. And this is the book of the 4-H research. Thank you.
Queenie was her name. Carol Sherman's first 4-H project was an Ayrshire calf from Carol's family farm in central Pennsylvania. The dairy project provided many learning opportunities for Carol. At shows or judging events, Carol experienced valuable lessons of camaraderie, healthy competition, and making lifelong connections, but found herself with very few young women participating alongside her. An unforgettable lesson was at her very first show was humility, when Queenie placed last in her class. Quite the beginning for what would be a 40-year extension professional career with the Indiana County 4-H program. Carol dedicated her life to positive youth development through her attention to opportunities, mentoring, sponsorship, and teaching. Developing communication skills was a major program emphasis. Carol offered workshops in presentations, public speaking, interview skills, judging, and making a good impression. She taught over 80 workshops with over 1,500 participants. Beyond the local level, Carol's National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals involvement included serving on the national board as a co-host coordinator for national conferences in Pennsylvania in 1986 and 1999, and Northeast Contact for Policy and Resolution. The National Association of Extension 4-H Development Professionals is honored to have nominated Carol Sherman for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Carol.
Family is here. It's almost embarrassing to have to stand here and listen to that. I'm sorry. Jeff, that wasn't part of my 2 minutes. Okay. As you heard, my first 4-H project was an Ayrshire calf named Queenie. And who knew where she would lead me? 4-H project work took me to places I never could have imagined. To Penn State as one of the first female undergraduates in dairy science, and then on to a 40-year career with cooperative extension. As I look back on those years, I remember many night meetings and weekends of work. But those weren't the important things. What was important were members who developed communication skills, who told me later that their high school public speaking classes are a breeze because of 4-H. Camp counselors who developed skills I never knew they had after a week of working with rambunctious 8-year-olds. And members who developed leadership skills by participating in the 4-H events that we offer. I loved watching the growth and development of the youth I worked with. I'm so proud that many members found careers in their project work. Veterinarians, food scientists, foresters, engineers, dairy nutritionists, and even extension educators, one of whom is here tonight, Amanda Knopf. Thank you for coming down. And we can't forget the volunteers. They were also at those night meetings and weekend events, and they were not getting paid. Watching volunteer leadership growth in their volunteers was exciting to me as watching the members. Thanks to a couple of those volunteers that are here tonight, Clark and Connie Bruner, and Angie Adams surprised me with driving the whole way down tonight too, so that was wonderful. All the volunteers I work with have had a special place in my heart, and they always will. I'd like to thank Michael Martin, my nominator, friend, and colleague, the state and national associations I've been involved with, NAE 4-H YDP, that's still hard to say, and other sponsors of this program. Association work was always a support for me, a sense of teamwork and camaraderie. It's so exciting to have coworker Suzanne here to be presenting this tonight. She works in the county right next door to me, so that's exciting. Pennsylvania 4-H staff are the best, and some of them are here tonight. Raise your hands or whatever, but there are some staff that came down tonight, and I really appreciate that. Thanks to the state leaders that I've worked with over those years, that includes Christy Bartley, who's here. Working with 50 4-H staff has to be like working with a herd of cats. Thanks to my family and friends that are here tonight, especially my husband, who was an extension spouse, a hard job to do. He understood that most of the time, and he was also an extension educator, so that helped. I'm so very humbled by this experience. I have nieces and nephews here tonight that are continuing their own green experiences, and that's really important. And finally, remember, do not underestimate the value of the basic 4-H project work that we do. It's very important, and who knows where it might lead.
Dr. Janice A. Seitz is known for her passion, dedication, enthusiasm, and love for working with youth across the nation. Growing up on a small farm and Mennonite community near Paulding, Ohio, she attended her first 4-H club meeting in a bassinet. 4-H was an integral part of Jan's life, learning life skills through giving talks and demonstrations, decorating booths at the county and state fairs, building 4-H floats, attending 4-H camp, and attending the Ohio State Teen Conference. Following her 17-year career in public schools, Jan completed both a master's degree and a PhD at the University of Illinois at the Urbana campus and served in the Leadership Development Graduate Program for 6 years. In 1997, Jan was named the Assistant Dean and Director of Illinois 4-H with the University of Illinois Extension. During her tenure, her leadership impacted Illinois 4-H and beyond as enrollment increased from 209,000 to more than 412,000 youth and adult volunteers. Jan relocated to the University of Delaware in 2003 to serve as the Associate Dean and Director Extension Outreach. Illinois 4-H is proud to have nominated Jan Seitz for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Jan is unable to attend this evening. I will read her statement. On this very special night, one question dominates my thoughts. Jan, how in the world did you ever get here from that little country school and farmhouse that didn't have indoor plumbing until your high school years? It would be an understatement to say that the answer to that question is the 4-H program in which I grew and learned under the tutelage of a dedicated staff and caring volunteers. My 4-H involvement began early. I attended my first meeting in a bassinet at 3 months old as my mother was a leader. I am thinking of my sweet mom tonight as I know she is thrilled as she looks down on her daughter receiving this special National 4-H Hall of Fame designation. I became totally immersed in the 4-H program during my youth and giving demonstrations at county and state fairs, attending 4-H camp, being part of a quartet that won the regional talent competition and subsequently performed at the Ohio State 4-H Teen Conference, It was also during these years that I broke out of my extreme shyness, so much so I even became president of my club. Being named Director of Illinois 4-H and Director of Extension at the University of Delaware were thrills of a lifetime. It is important to note, however, that any success I had in these roles had everything to do with the amazing talent and support of my colleagues and dedicated volunteers as we walked shoulder to shoulder in efforts to make a difference in the lives of this nation's most precious resource, our youth. To say that 4-H has had everything to do with my career and with who and where I am today would be an understatement. I will be forever grateful. Little did Sandra Clarkson Stuckman of Michigan know that 10 years as an Indiana 4-H member would impact her life in a positive way as the shy 8-year-old grew into the confident public speaker by participating in demonstration contests. As a 4-H teen leader, Sandra encouraged members to develop skills and work to make the best better. Then at Purdue, she was a 4-H program assistant, an opportunity that opened her eyes to the possibility of a 4-H career. These were the foundational 4-H experiences for the rest of her life. Throughout Sandra's extension career, her role was not always 4-H labeled, but she did enjoy 4-H responsibilities with volunteer training, staff recruitment and employment, legal matters, and diversity. Working with the Michigan State University Extension 4-H team was one of the highlights of her career. Sandra is especially privileged to give back to a program that made such a difference in her life. She is proud of the accomplishments with the development and implementation of the Child Well-Being Volunteer Selection Process. As difficult as this was, reminding herself to remain focused on what 4-H is, youth development made it possible. Michigan 4-H is honored to have nominated Sandra Clarkson Stuckman for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Hadley, for such a kind introduction. And I want to thank the musicians. We could hear you out in the corridor, and it was absolutely lovely. 4-H impacted me in very personal ways, providing an excellent foundation for my life. 4-H is also very, very global, empowering youth around the world to lead today and in the future. My incredible 4-H experiences started when I became a 4-H member in Indiana and continue to this day. Participating in annual 4-H demonstrations increased my self-confidence and communication skills. Being a junior leader made me realize that what I wanted to do in the future, work with people. I was very fortunate to spend 33 years as an extension professional with New York Cornell Cooperative Extension. Had to get out of the Midwest for a while to appreciate its value and come back. And then Michigan State University Extension. Since I retired in 2002, I am very proud to be a 4-H volunteer and donor with my husband Noel, who is here this evening with me. Noel and I believe, as well-known MSU President John Hanna said, people are our most important product. We use his wise words to guide our philanthropic efforts as we use our time, talents, and treasures to help people, especially youth who are our future. I am grateful that 4-H partners at state and national levels decided in 2002 to create the National 4-H Hall of Fame to recognize so many outstanding Extension 4-H youth development contributors, staff, volunteers, especially volunteers, the core of our programs, and supporters. I want to thank the MSUE 4-H team who nominated me, and I'm very pleased that Dr. Jake DeDecker, the state 4-H leader in Michigan, has joined us tonight. I feel honored and humbled to be included among those so honored. Thank you very much.
Thomas of Indiana credits his 10-year 4-H membership as the beginning of a successful career with Purdue Extension and 4-H. It was through 4-H Darrell gained a foundation for himself to benefit, grow, and thrive in life. He was guided by the 4-H's as he worked towards his goals. A member of the Honey Creek 4-H Club, Darrell learned the basics of self-confidence, leadership, and teamwork. His 4-H experience paved the way for a successful 31 years with Purdue Extension, serving as Fountain County Assistant County Agent and Putnam County Extension 4-H Agent and Extension Director. During Darrell's more than 60 years of leadership as a member, professional, volunteer, and donor, he has aided, encouraged, and championed thousands of 4-H members and volunteers that have effectively provided leadership locally, regionally, and nationally, as well as internationally. Professionally, Darrell was passionate for expanding and extending the profession of the 4-H professional. Serving as president of the Indiana Association of Extension 4-H Agents boosted Darrell into leadership for the National Association of Extension 4-H Agents, where he served on the national board as the North Central Region. The National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals are honored to have nominated Darrell Thomas for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Darrell.
My speech has already been given by that other guy. It's interesting. I can't add much to what's already been said by those that come before me. Most of us think of 4-H as a county-oriented function. When I got my letter that said congratulations, I was first worried because I years ago got a letter like that said Uncle Sam wants you. But I got to looking at the list and I thought, I know half these people. Over 30 years, I've rubbed elbows with most everybody in this class in some manner or fashion, mostly through the NA 4HA national conferences, but I've worked with them also, thank heavens for Zoom. And you work with a lot more, but there's one individual that's special. And he's sitting here tonight. I was told last night I'm not special because there's somebody else in the same situation, but I'm not going to dwell on them. One of my kids is here. Not one of my family kids, one of my 4-H kids who made the grade, and I taught him everything I know when I hired him to work for me for one summer. And he told me last night that was 1976. That's a lifetime. Well, one evening at my house, he and I sat and talked for about 2 hours about a position he was interested in Maricopa County, Arizona. What did I know about Arizona? He told me he had more 4-H horse and pony members than I had members. And after we got done, I found out later, a month later, he got the job. And I've been proud of him ever since. And it tells me that all those late nights, all those meetings, all those camps, and all those fairs, trying to teach kids how to make the best better, we're all worth it. Thank you to you. Thank you to you. Thanks, everybody, for this has been a humbling experience. Thank you.
Betty Joe Van Cavalar has been a special treasure to the Delaware 4-H program, serving as a 4-H volunteer for more than 43 years while helping to support, promote, and provide leadership to Delaware 4-H programs and youth. She is one of the most effective, impactful, and valuable 4-H volunteers 4-H has ever had. Many would say she has a heart of gold and walks on water. BJ is the type of volunteer that every organization dearly loves, as she always says yes when asked to assist with anything. As a club leader, BJ is an excellent mentor for a large club of 40-plus youth and provides many opportunities for youth to grow, develop important life skills, and become productive leaders and citizens in their community. These club members can earn multiple county, state, and national awards. Active in the County 4-H Volunteer Leaders Association, BJ directs the county program in developing new programming, experiences, and learning opportunities for youth. As a foundation director, BJ is valuable in raising funds to support 4-H youth and state programming by securing new donors to this each year. Delaware 4-H is proud to have nominated Betty Jo. Unfortunately, she is unable to attend the ceremony with us today. Like many Depression-era families in Kentucky, Harleen M. Welch's parents improved their station in life by participating in 4-H and extension programs. Harleen married soon after graduating from high school and had 3 children in quick succession. She kept busy growing and preserving the food that they ate, sewing, knitting, and crocheting the clothes that they wore. The non-formal education that she received from Extension was an honorary major in home economics. This non-formal education, provided by 4-H and Extension, has served her well throughout her life. In a career spanning 5 decades, Harleen distinguished herself as an innovative, exemplary volunteer who continually pushed the boundaries as she sought new ways to teach sewing, tailoring, knitting, and fashion to 2024 4-H members. She became the co-leader of the Harrison County 4-H Sewing Club and continues serving in this role today, a remarkable 46-year career. Her expertise in 4-H Project Club programming has been widely sought. She has presented 412 workshops on sewing and quilting in the county, area, state, and southern region. Harleen credits 4-H with transforming a rural girl by presenting endless opportunities. Kentucky 4-H is delighted to have nominated Harleen M. Welch for the National 4-H Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Harleen.
I'm kind of like the gentleman before me. Everything has been said. But I began my 46 years as a 4-H clothing volunteer leader at the grassroots level. And there have been many rewards and challenges. And some of those rewards to me have been that our first-year sewing student coming through the door all wide-eyed, just can't wait to get her hands on that sewing machine. And then once they learn the basics, they finish that project, they're so full of excitement, they just can't wait to show somebody what they have made. And as my sewing students advanced their ability to sewing and then construct their garments, and then they model them at the county fair, the senior conference, or at the state fair and other local events. Some of the main things I enjoy about them is the awards that they have given me in this role as I play as their clothing leader. They have gone on to receive grand champions at the state fair, and they also have won sewing machines at the senior conference. But some of those challenges, there are a few. I had a first-year student come in, wide-eyed and excited, but curiosity got the best of her. She just couldn't decide, she had to fiddle with everything on the sewing machine. And the light socket, the bulb had been removed and we hadn't gotten it replaced, so she decided to stick her finger in that light socket. Needless to say, there were a few sparks and a black finger. And I had stressed the importance of safety and things you shouldn't touch on that sewing machine. But needless to say, that didn't work that day. I've also had my thumbnail pierced several times with a sewing machine needle. And then they look at me like, oh, that went in your nail. And then I've had parents kind of forget their child came to the sewing project meeting and didn't pick them up. So I've had to provide transportation. And I just want to, that's just a few of the rewards and challenges I've received over the years. But I do want to mention that my daughter, Luann Fryman, my niece, Angela Gray, and my great-niece, Whitney Wigglesworth, are all here tonight. They were all sewing students. Also, I have a special needs young man here, and he sews under me and does some quilting. I am so proud that they're here. I just want to thank everybody tonight, and especially the council for this award. Thank my family, my friends, especially my 4-H agent. She's also here tonight. Thank you.
Wow, talk about service to others. It is obvious why these folks have been nominated into the National 4-H Hall of Fame. They have a shared passion for teaching, mentoring, and raising up young people to make the best better. Congratulations, National 4-H Hall of Fame laureates. What amazing stories of knowledge, courage, and persistence. Thank you for your 4-H contributions and your piece of the rich 4-H history. If you will remain after the close of the ceremonies, we would like to take a group photo of all of you on stage. Before we are dismissed for the reception located in the ballroom, there are several other individuals we would like to thank. Starting with our photographers and video technician, Edwin Rimsberg for capturing special moments, and Dan Tabler for covering our more casual celebration. We also want to thank Jeffries Greenworld and Florist for the boutonnieres and corsages, A&T Industries for sponsoring the lapel pins, 4-H National Headquarters for financing the programs, the Dr. Mike Davis Family Endowment for innovation and excellence for their contribution of the memory books, American Income Life for assisting with the reception, and the National 4-H Council for facilities. Please check the program for other sponsors contributing to the videotaping and youth participants' lodging. Finally, we thank the 3 National 4-H Hall of Fame partners, National 4-H Council, 4-H National Headquarters, and the National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals for their efforts in organizing tonight's ceremony. As our time comes to a close for this National 4-H Hall of Fame ceremony, let us once more congratulate our 2021 National 4-H Hall of Fame laureates. We honor you for your countless hours and devotion to making the best better. Thank you for your contributions to 4-H and its youth. Laureates, please stand to be recognized once more.